G'day Chiefs. Well, it's time to be a high quality, on the ball executive. And one of the models I want to share with you today, which I use all the time when I'm working with clients, or so that would be an entire organization or even a departmental chief. This model is at the core of a lot of my thinking. I really want to know how they're going and what their trajectory is on. This is a business performance journey map. I call it Fix, Reset, Grow, Change the Game. I've seen clients in every single stage, some going up, some going down. The thing is, Chief, you want to know where you are on this journey map and what direction you're going so that you can lead situationally. Chiefs, this model is really, really important because as a leader, the first thing it does is it gives you confidence and clarity in your role. That you're actually doing the right thing based on the situation. You're leading situationally. And what that means, it helps you work out what are the highest impact moves right now. And even more importantly to that, if you know where you are and you look forward and you know what's going to be coming, you can predict the likely issues in your strategy, where the bottlenecks or issues might pop up. And that is just so important as you get into a transformation over time. It also is a really helpful tool for lifting the veil on the health of the organization or just your department. So maybe you're sitting down with your boss or another peer or maybe even a board member or something, and they say, look, how is it going in your department? And you can use this model to kind of explain where you're at. And what that does is it lifts the veil because board members, senior executives, they carry a lot of risk. They don't know everything that's happening in a business. And so they can get potentially a bit on edge about that, which in my mind is often very, very justified. So if you can tell a story and show the journey you're on, it puts them at ease. It also might give you a bit of air cover, a bit of time to say, hey, listen, this isn't going to happen overnight. We're going to have to take this time. This is the process I'm following. Give me a year or 2 years or 3 years and we'll be rocketing along in a wonderful way. We can't do it all right now. Okay, the great thing about this also, it helps you build and prove a demonstrable track record, and it improves the clarity of communication around performance and change with your people as well. So that kind of discussion with your board member or exec team member, same one with a team member who's coming on board. Hey, guess what? We're in reset. We're going to be here for 18 months. This is our focus now. Then we'll go to grow. Then we'll go to change the game, right? We're on a journey that's going to take us quite a few years. Chiefs, if you want to follow along today with an online resource, we've got a free download for you. Just go to chiefmaker.com/fix, reset, grow. That's chiefmaker.com/fix, reset, grow, all in one word. And there is a full downloadable resource for you there. So let's jump into what this model is all about, Chiefs. It's called Fix, Reset, Grow, Change the Game. 4 stages of transformation, or these sort of 4 stages of business performance. Okay? The bottom level, the left-hand end is fix. This is a tough place to be, right? This is where, first and foremost, our number one metric in Fix, Reset, Grow, Change the Game is commercials. This is about the oxygen of the business. This is about cash flow. If you are losing money, you are not making a profit, your EBITDA is negative, all of that, then you are in fix. I don't care whatever else is happening. If you are losing money, you are in fix, right? So this might be losing money, debt is high relative to earnings, a whole bunch of things where you sort of get yourself into a really bad trap, okay? The Titanic is sinking, and if you don't fix it, it will go down, right? So that's fixed, right? It's often chaos. It's often lack of process, out-of-date systems. You often have wrong people, bad people, toxic people, people in the wrong jobs, stalled turnover. I remember working with a business once that was in fix. I went around and I ran this workshop one morning. I had 40 people turn up at this optional workshop, and I said to them, how many of you have had training in the last 5 years? No one. Right? So growth, learning, all that is stalled, right? Also, there's probably no unified strategy. One of the key things here, Chiefs, is that we say you sort of deserve to be where you are on this. So if you are in fix, something's happened. Decisions, actions, behaviors, people over the last 3 to 5 years has drawn you down to this place. That's a little bit of ownership there, Chief, if you're involved with that. We want to understand why, because we'll talk about that a bit in a minute. But just remember, you tend to deserve to be where you are on this particular journey map, right? So that's fix, Chief. When you do a great job of getting out of fix, that might take 6 to 12 months. We hope to get you out. I'll tell you a bit later about how we do that. Right, we get ourselves into this reset phase, and reset, the core metric, the core thing to consider here is your break even, right? So you're not making money, you're not losing money, you're breaking even it might be sawtooth kind of results. So some months you're winning, some months you're losing, but overall you're breaking even, okay? Look, there might be a little bit more order in the business depending if you're going down or up on this journey map, okay? You probably still have some okay people. It's just not super sharp, right? There's maybe people in the wrong seats, still a few bad people, maybe strategy's not clear, you're not focused, you're really all over the shop, Chiefs. This is classic reset, okay? And reset is just a beautiful opportunity because thankfully you're not in fix, right? So first step is don't get into fix. Let's recognize where we are and get to that next level into grow. Grow, this is our stock standard, like quality business that's making market average returns. That's the core metric here. If you're making market average returns, even if you think the culture isn't that great right now, okay, at least from a business perspective, things aren't as bad as you think. We can fix the culture if we have some cash flow because we can put some more effort into that. But when you're down in fix and you're losing money, right, we really need to operate and fix the business. And well, part of fixing the business is the culture, of course, but we've really got to focus on some other things. Grow, market average returns, probably reasonably good systems, pretty good order, hopefully a pretty good culture compared to the real toxic level of fix, and not a bad strategy. Like it's a good business, like it's kind of a business you want to be involved with, right? So that's grow, okay? Now, change the game. Not many businesses get to this place, okay? It is a rare air. This is where you have abnormal profits, market domination. Things are super good, right? On the inside, operations are great. You've got good tools, systems, all that kind of stuff. You've got the best culture. People are knocking on the door to come to you, may be studying how the hell you got there. Analysts want to find out what the hell you're doing, right? And this is a great place to be because now it's all about innovation and growth and really understanding market forces so you can protect your position to be a long-term change the gamer. Chiefs, so these are the 4 stages of transformation. They're really, really important. And what we want to do now, Chief, is just consider as a leader. Now, what anyone's ever worked with me will know what we want to do is stop as a leader, right? Work at level. That means we're operating at a 3 to 5 year timeline for the changes we're making. We want to make lasting impact as a leader. That means we've got to work on the business and not in it. And this model helps you do that. So here's some questions that I want you to consider, right? First is, what stage is the business in right now, the overall business? Are you in fix? Are you in reset? Are you in grow? Or are you in change the game? So here are some of those questions for you. What stage is the business you work for right now? That's the entire business, okay? Now, as I said before, question 2, if you deserve to be where you are right now, what are the main reasons that you are in this stage? So if you're in grow, why are you there, right? Think about the decisions in leadership over the past 2 to 5 years. They've obviously been pretty good if you're staying where you are. However, if you're back in fix or reset and maybe heading towards fix, something's happened in the last 3 to 5 years, 2 to 5 years, even 12 months. That's drawing you down like this almost gravitational pull. You're always, Chief, it's like entropy. You're always being drawn down on this, Chief. You have to make activity. You have to take good, bold, smart action in order to go up and to the right here, up to reset, grow, and change the game. Okay? If you don't make great decisions, you will naturally start to fall back towards reset and fix. So is your performance trending up or down? Which way are you heading? Really interesting thing to consider. Okay, look at your results for that if you're not quite sure which way you're heading. Okay, maybe you're flatlining, maybe going up, maybe going down. Now, what about your own department? Chief, if you're just a departmental lead, a GM of an area, or head of HR, or whatever it is you're leading, what about your team, your department, your region? How is that going, right? And maybe if you have a bit of time, you could put the other departments where you think they are in the business, or all the other regions. Based on all that, Chief, what is the next most important move for you? Where's the priority? What we're thinking about here, Chief, is bottlenecks. What's the thing holding you back from making something to just say your reset to getting really towards the top of reset and heading towards grow? It might be people, it might be commercials, it might be operations, it might be strategy, right? It might be products or services, could be any of those. What is it for you? Okay, Chief, that takes us on to the next core little activity here is what do you do in each stage? Okay, because there is a situational leadership style that actually corresponds to each stage. You're probably starting to pick this up, right? So as I said, in fix, where we're losing money, I just want you to think about it this way. This is circle the wagons. It's more like command and control. The business is in a lot of trouble, and the reason it's here is people don't know how to get out of this problem. If at this point you decide you want to fully empower the troops, it's probably going to be the wrong move. Why? They're unsure of what move to make. Their confidence is shattered. They don't have the systems or the leadership or the people around them to do that. At this moment, it's far more roll the sleeves up yourself. Get a couple of allies and get into the business and roll your sleeves up and make some change. You've got to get everyone super focused, often in 30-day sprints. And you say, in 30 days, we're going to fix A, B, and C, and that is it. Everything else is for later. The way to think about this journey through fix, reset, grow, change the game is it's like chapters. You cannot do everything now. You have to save stuff for later. What we want to know right now is what are the bottlenecks or what are the biggest issues we face right now that if we don't fix that in 30, 60, 90 days, we're cooked, right? And that's fix. So get a small coalition of the willing in your business, the people that have the energy, right, and the fortitude and the boldness to make some calls and get you out of fix. I hope, Chief, you never find yourself in fix. To be honest, not all organizations really ever get there, but Chief, when you get there, if this is roll the sleeves up, get it done, and keep really close attention on what's happening. This is not a time to be sitting up in the clouds dreaming about the future. You've got to save the business and earn the right to do that. Okay? The other thing is in fix, people are normally pretty stressed or have completely lost focus. It's really hard in this moment to have a great vision of the future. People just aren't in that headspace. So it's sort of like, I want you to imagine you're sort of hiking out of a valley and you look up when you're in the bottom of the valley and you can see this beautiful hilltop. You think it's the summit. And then you climb out of the valley, you do all that hard work, you get to the top and it's a false summit. You look up, there's another amazing hill above you. And it looks even more amazing than now. You couldn't see it from the bottom of the valley. And that's what it's like when you're in fix. All we want to do is say, hey, where do we want to be in 6 months from now? 3 to 6 months. Really stay more short-term focused. Get the business, save it. Then we can start to talk about vision and purpose, which is really where we start to find ourselves in reset. So once again, if we're now talking break even, we really want to stabilize now, make sure we get all our financial systems in order. And really, if there's any big risk or things that are really holding us back, like too much cost in the business, too many people in the business, this is a great time to fix that, right? Because we want to get the business right size, we want to get it fit so that it can really fuel us into the future through reset, grow, change the game. Ask yourself here once again, what's the bottleneck, right? Is it marketing not bringing enough business in? Is it operations not having the right enough engine or capability to drive us out of here? What is going on in your business, okay? So we want to get the commercials right in the operations, the major systems of processes for transformation. Become obsessed now with your customer, right? Certainly through fix and reset. If you're not out there talking to your customer, understanding why they're buying or not, or why they're choosing competitors, then we're really, really in big trouble. We've got to get to the heart of why we're winning or why we're losing. At this point, we're probably losing a bit, okay? So let's get really back passionate and become obsessed with your customer. People, now you've hopefully got a bit of a guiding coalition, raise the bar on teamless standards. By now you're probably starting to see that there are people that won't go the journey, right? Maybe the more we sort of improve the business, you can see probably got you as far as they're going to get you. It's time to make some big calls. The team that you haven't fixed will not be the team that gets you to grow. Absolutely guarantee you that. Like, there's going to have to be some change, okay? So remove any lagging low performers, recruit some more stars, right? We want high performers in our business because high performers recruit other high performers, and low performers, they never ever hire a high performer. We need some people in the business, okay, that are going to help us move and grow, take us out of reset and into grow, okay? Now is also the time, at some point along here, now is the time we get a bit of breathing space, a bit of airspace to think about purpose, vision, values, and longer term strategy. This is a great opportunity now, Chief, to really unite the business, because when we sort of got this business and now it's stable and we unite the business behind our purpose and our vision, this is when we really can rocket into grow. Okay, so where we are now from a general leadership style is sort of partner and coach, right? Start to divulge authority down to the good performers in the business, so that what you can have is, as a leader, there's a bit of, instead of you making like all the calls, right, in the business, we start to divulge all this power down to a whole group of lieutenants who do all that decision making for you as a leader, and you can keep driving the business to the next level. And that takes us to grow, right? And grow is a great place to be. As I said, this is a really good, solid business. It's a great opportunity now, Chief, from a commercial side. This is about investing in R&D and the transformation of the business. You might be acquiring other parts of the business. You might be improving capability, bringing in IP. You might be adding new products and services. This is where we're really at now, Chief. You've got to think about, how do we build this core focus or core capability in the business that's going to help us grow, help us be better. We want to be a high performing business right in our niche that serves who we are, okay? One of the mistakes leaders make here is they get a bit bored and they start working on things that aren't core business. Stick to core business, Chief, at this point. Get better at what you do before more, okay? So lots of continuous improvement, innovation, right, that is guided by your customers, right? Keep raising the bar on standards and feedback, and recruit new blood to really challenge the status quo. More and more high performers. It's a pretty simple equation here on high performers. The more you have, the more you go up to the right. The less you have, the more you go down to the left, okay? Right, from a strategy, we're really into market and customer research and a much larger budget on innovation, product development, service lines, maybe entering new markets, etc. Now we really enter from a leadership style, an empowered leadership style. There's three roles: our coaching, relationships, and strategy. We really want to be building an incredible culture. We want to be seeing engagement scores off the charts if we want to jump to change the game. And this is, as I said earlier, it's a bit of rare air. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to be. I've got a few clients in this space right now, and they are just amazing. They're thinking really heavily about research and development, mergers and acquisitions, capital decisions are central. This is a really smart, strategic space. Doing, once again, better, before more, not being too distracted, aiming for some sort of market domination, right? But the key here is, particularly around strategy and how and culture, how that links into that, is it's not market domination with a bad kind of spirit. It's all aligned to purpose and vision and values and your customer. And the more we can really build this great business that's so connected to why it exists, it stays the game. It changed up in this top level, change the game. You can stay there for much longer. If it's all about money, I tell you what, eventually people will erode away, right? Because your customers will feel that and your people will feel that. And eventually your high performers, right, that the additional discretionary effort they bring, they'll just leave, right? So what we want, Chief, is this great culture, investing heavily in R&D and M&A and capital decisions being made centrally, right? We want to be partnering with other businesses and suppliers so that we're not only innovating like crazy, right, but we want to be claiming new territory and sort of staying in front of the competition. Okay, leadership style, flatter structure, right? We're really now trying to bring and empower our people across the business. We want the great ideas coming forth out of the business because that's where like they're closest to our customers and we can really get a sense of who they are. And they've got these little 1% ideas, right? That's where we really want to tap into that because as executives, often we don't really get a sense for how we can improve things 1%. So Chiefs, I want you to think about where you are at in this list and what might be next for you. Remember, great chiefs, they adapt their leadership style based on the environment and the quality of people. Chiefs that take a one-size-fits-all approach to leadership will always end up failing. Okay, so like if I just give you a couple of examples, Chief, when we talk about this fix, reset, grow journey, if I think about maybe what's happened with Qantas, the Australian airline, over the last sort of 10 years, is, like it really did start to find itself in a lot of trouble. It lost a lot of its customers. It didn't do a great job on that front. And I like jump online now and I see people constantly complaining about the terrible service. It's at war having these fights with its pilots. This does not sound like the culture is right. And that's sort of followed with a lot of its commercial results. Things are changing now under some new leadership and they're starting to refine, hopefully, their brand again. So Chiefs, an activity for you. What leadership style is required by you now? What leadership style is required by you now? Is this more what you got to do in fix, which is a circle the wagons, command and control style, or is it really empowered and innovative kind of style leadership? What is the next most important priority or initiative for you in this chapter, in the next 12, 18 months? By the way, Chiefs, it does take around about 12 to 18 months to go through each phase. If you try and go too fast, you actually end up going backwards. Don't rush to the next stage. Finish it well. Do it well because then you have these more solid foundations to go out of reset into grow and into change the game. Okay, is there another department lagging behind that is the bottleneck on the business and holding everyone back? By the way, that might be your team, your fault or not, but if you're in fix and everyone else is in reset and grow, great opportunity, Chief, to get the business back and get your department back in the game here, okay? The final question I've got for you is, do you have the grunt power in your team to move up to the next stage? This is a really important thing to consider. You cannot go from fix to reset without having a core group of people in your business that have the energy, the relentlessness, the boldness, the courage, the fortitude to lift a group of people from fix to reset. Because there will always be resistance. There'll be complexity. There'll be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's just what it's going to be, I guarantee you. This is not easy to go through these levels. That's why you're in a leadership role, because someone believes that you can do this difficult job. So look at your team and ask yourself, do I have the grunt power to get this business from reset to grow or from grow to change the game? And if you don't, Chief, you've either got to find them in the business and get them up to help you, or you've got to bring them in. Because I've watched 100 businesses think they can go from reset to grow. They don't have the grunt power. They think they can do it, and they just don't go anywhere. They can reset a year later. It doesn't matter how many times I see it. I implore you to think about this. If you don't have the grunt power in your team to move up to the next stage, you will not get there, right? So, Chiefs, that is fix, reset, grow, change the game. I hope it gives you a sense of the right moves you can make next, so you make them with some clarity and some confidence. So it helps you tell a bit of a story to bring your people or your peers along for the journey. And Chief, to build that demonstrable track record. I took a team from reset to grow. This was our metrics. This is how we did it. This is the process I followed, and I can do it again if I get another opportunity. Right, Chiefs, that's it for today. As always, remember to stay epic.